What's up, y'all? Lord Nolan here. Whoo! 2020 was a crazy year. It was something about it that just, it never stopped messing with everyone. Like, it was like, 2020 was like, let me see how far I can push humanity without, causing them to go extinct or something. It was like, it was trying to prove a point. Like, for some reason 2020 was like, you guys are far too reckless or far too, you know caught up in the whole rat race thing or something. It was something about 2020. It was trying to teach us to slow down, chill out, think about what you're doing, like take a step back from what you think is important and see what's really important and stuff like that. It was 2020 was something else. But you know, I think that everybody that made it out of 2020 and is now in 2021, we're all we're a little bit more grateful at what life has given us. Like, there's a lot of people that didn't make it. Like, honestly, there's a lot of people that didn't make it around the world. Around the world, there's a lot of people that are now newly homeless, are still suffering in hospitals from COVID and other diseases and stuff like that. Like, other diseases didn't go away. Like, COVID is a big deal, and it shut the world down, but other diseases didn't go away. And so a lot of us are blessed to have made it through seemingly unharmed. A lot of us have made it through with a newfound respect for mental illness. A lot of us made it through with a newfound respect for each other's opinions. And, not gonna lie, a lot of us didn't really change. And as sad as that is to say, after the year that we had, a lot of us didn't change. So, uh, it is what it is. Life goes on. And uh, I'm just glad that me and everybody I care about is doing okay. We're all we're all relatively happy. We're all healthy. We're all, as far as I know, nobody in my family or in my friends group is homeless. Like, we all made it. So I think this year we should take into account that it could have been a lot worse. If we hadn't done what we did, if we hadn't done it how we did it, it could have been a lot worse. And I think we should all take a moment to think about what surviving 2020 means. And we all need to take a moment and think about what's really important to us, and take a moment and think about the decisions that we made that led us to that, and what we could do differently. And I know things may not get back to normal, or whatever normal is in people's eyes and stuff like that, but still, we have some semblance of hope that this year is going to be better. We have understanding of each other. We have a better look into the lives of people around us, because in all honesty, 2020 was one of the most self-reflecting years I think humanity as a whole has ever had. And we didn't just look at ourselves, we looked at everybody around us. We looked at what people thought, we looked at how people felt, we looked at the hardships that people had. Like, in all honesty, I think for most, like, even on YouTube, most places and stuff like that, like, charity was in the highest levels that it had ever been, when people were the brokest. That's the best part about it. It's like, people didn't even have that much, and they were willing to give. Like, I was watched several different charity live streams all over YouTube. YouTube had several events lots of top level YouTubers had charity streams raising hundreds of thousands. Even if it was just like 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever, they were still raising like thousands of dollars for charity, and it let me know that even in our darkest time, people were still trying to look out for one another. And that's something. Like 2020 was crazy, but people were like, they realized we need each other a lot more than they did before. Like before, we weren't thinking about it like that. Before, we were just like, it's kind of like every man for himself. Yeah, every now and then we think about the person that's got, a disease or is disadvantaged or is disabled or something like that, that they lost their house, or, we thought about them every now and then, and we liked the videos and stuff like that, but we never really, charity was never really as big as it was in 2020. Like people weren't feeling as much as they were last year, when everybody was having to see like, like this is not good for anyone. Like it's not just me. Like we're all connected at a level that we didn't necessarily understand until 2020. And I think as bad as 2020 was, humanity might have needed it. And all the bad things that happened to me, and all the time I miss with my boys, all the time I miss with my family, all the time I miss with my friends, it hurt. And it allowed me to see that, like, really doing things alone is not the way to go. And, like, we need each other. We all need each other. And not being able to have each other in our lives on a personal level, or in person, or all that stuff like that, not even be able to shake hands or hug, or like kisses on the cheek or forehead or whatever, and it changes how we look at life. Like we were all, as far as I know, we were all really depressed. Like almost anybody that I saw or that I talked to was ecstatic to see another person and wanted to have a long conversation. We were going out of our way to have conversations with random people we never even met, just because we got out of the house that day and we just bumped into them. Not like actually literally bumped into them, but like we saw them. Like you could talk to somebody for an hour next to the apples at the store or something like that. You could talk to somebody for 35 minutes while they're trying to pick out, a pair of socks or a toy for Christmas, or they, at the checkout line, everybody took just they took a little bit more from conversations with the cashier. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we didn't take any human interactions for granted. Now that's not everybody, but a lot of people, we didn't take any human interactions for granted, and I think that was a gift that only 2020 could have given us. Now, that being said, obviously everybody had hardships, and I'm not gonna try and compare mine to anybody else's. And I put it in videos already, and the closest I could say to somebody saying something similar to what I said, I watched a Jacksepticeye video where he was talking about how 2020 almost made him quit YouTube, and that, like, everything but the asthma, the doctor availability, because like I'm obviously not at his level, and he's in a whole other country and stuff, and our hospitals were overwhelmed, and the whole the hearing thing he had, like the hearing thing, the asthma thing that he had, and like the access to doctors are the only three differences that were really in the story. Like the stomach thing, the anxiety, the depression, the lack of energy, like all that stuff, it really hit home, because like I knew what that felt like. And I feel like a lot of people knew what that felt like. And a lot of people knew what it felt like to have COVID. And a lot of people knew what it felt like to be struggling with money. And a lot of people knew what it felt like to to lose a family member. And it was the first time where almost all of humanity saw each other struggling with the same things. And I think it was a cursed year, but it was a blessing for how the people that survived it now have a connection to a larger community in the human beings around them. And yeah, it was a crazy year. It did not go how I expected it. It didn't go how anybody expected it. And like, I was doing a lot of stuff on YouTube in 2019, and I was expecting to just like take it to another level. I was gonna start, trying to invest more time and money into it. And I was gonna be like, I was gonna have like the most amazing summer with my boys, because I was gonna have them that summer, and I had all these plans for what we were gonna do. And like, at the end of the day, all those plans that I had, they all fell through, because when jobs go out the window, money dries up, and everybody that can't be seen within like 6 feet of each other without a mask or something, and everybody was afraid, and I was panicking and stuff like that, and I was worried about the safety of my boys and stuff like that. And it all was just an overwhelming year, and I could not do any of the things that I wanted to do. But at the same time, neither could anybody else. Like, even Jack and Mark and all those guys that are like Cory and RDC World, and all those guys, all those high level YouTubers and stuff like that, regular celebrities, like television, even TV hosts were doing stuff from their house. Like, everybody had to adjust to a life of not getting what they wanted immediately, not being able to go out and just do things when you wanted, not being able to see the people that you loved, and a lot of people, didn't come out of 2020 the same. Like, they're forever going to be changed by it. And, it's crazy to think, like, the whole world shared a hardship for a whole year. But 2021, I think we're more prepared for everything that happened and everything that's going forward. I'm relatively sure we're gonna think about each other more. We're gonna be trying to continue our forward progress that we made, and in a more humane way than we had before. A lot of industries are gonna be they got flipped upside down in 2020, and they're gonna continue to build off of where they came out. Like, it's gonna be an interesting year of rebuilding, interesting year of people reconnecting, and an interesting year for everybody thinking, what did I do with my life before 2020, and what do I want to do with it now that it's 2021? And I'm interested to see how it turns out. And that being said, I'm hoping that this isn't the last video, and I'm relatively sure it shouldn't be. But 2021 is the year of no plans pretty much for anybody. So we're just taking it one step at a time, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm hoping 2021 is the year that we grow as a species, as humanity. We grow together. Nollan Out.